Welcome to Country Tough with Brandy von Holten. I have with me a returning guest, and his podcast was one of my largest podcasts ever here on Country Tough with Brandy von Holten. He was around in the beginning before this was called Country Tough. It was called Big Boss Mare, but I actually changed that because I don't want to be the Big Boss Mare.
Yeah,
okay.
I kind of like that country
tough. Yeah. We actually did a trademark on that, and there's like 43 or 46 categories in which to trademark something, and so we trademarked the term country tough being spelled correctly in one of those categories. So
awesome.
I love it because it allows me to talk to everybody.
Sure.
And it's not just about horses, so and a lot of people that see on my shirts where it says Big Boss Mare, they think it's Mary. They think I'm Big Boss Mary. Okay, and I'm like, you do not know horses, apparently.
Yeah.
So with me today, I have Jason Worthley. Okay, so let's make sure and get that name right, and we'll make sure and get my last name right. Okay, so his last name's one word, so it's a lot easier than me. It's like worth. Okay, what are you worth? Okay, and then L-E-Y, Worthley. Okay,
Yes, exactly.
My last name is a German last name. It's two words. It's V-O-N, and then there's a space, and then a second capital letter. It's H-O-L-T-E-N. So not Van, but Von Holten. And then my husband and I are perfect 10, and so we got the number in our name.
Yeah.
All right? Just in case you're like, is she a 9? No, she's a 10.
She's a 10.
She's a 10. Anyways, all right. So I met Jason. Boy, so much has changed. He's out here in my office, in my barn. He before was in our house when we did a podcast interview. And whenever I met you at Patio 52.
Yeah. We just opened Patio 52. Chuck Black, a buddy of mine, he had opened it. I was there with him, pretty much from the very beginning, getting that thing going, and it is still going.
Oh, man, it's still going. We have clients that love to go there. Man, the quesadilla. Yeah. That quesadilla is fantastic, and never can go wrong with those mac and cheese bites.
They're still very popular.
Yeah. Those are wonderful. And then I love that they also have Phantom 5.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, that place has won like Missouri's best distillery for a while. And I did a podcast interview with them. That's some good old boys right there.
Yeah.
They have 5 guys that came together and made a distillery, and they're doing things differently.
Yeah, Chuck's really good bringing in, especially local stuff, Weltman Springs Brewery, Dale Hollow Winery, things like that. So it's nice to walk into a place, especially the place you helped kind of get going, and see all your local stuff in there.
Yeah. Well, most definitely. There's so much commerce that goes through these counties. Yeah. And it's nice that it's right there on 52.
Yeah.
That's hence the name.
And we opened that thing. I remember driving down the road one day, and this guy said, man, I sure wouldn't want to be in the restaurant business right now, because this was during COVID when we decided to do that. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, oh, crap. But COVID affected everything, but once we opened the doors, local people, and then that Kansas City, that lake traffic, they come in there regular. So it was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's talk about that horrible C word of COVID. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about that. So I'm actually in Pettis County, even though I'm a lot closer to Benton County and Morgan County. Y'all are closer. I'm way away. Yeah. But I'm still in Pettis County. Yep. And so COVID was rough. And, we own a century farm, been in the same family since 1906. And we opened up a horse trail riding facility. We did weddings. We don't do weddings now. I'm doing some business coaching, and my husband's a woodworker. Yeah. So we're kind of diverse. We also have a T-shirt shop now. It's under country-tough.com, because we say when you're born and when you die, it doesn't matter. It's just about your dash of your life, okay? It's about the substance. Exactly. It's about what you're worth.
What you're worth, yes. Exactly.
So, but during COVID, the health department, I had called up there and was just like, hey, what do we need to do to comply, because I'm not a rule breaker. And then they told me, over the phone like that I would get a misdemeanor if I stayed open. And I was like, no, I was like, well, we don't have any other source of income.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, you'll be breaking the law. So that's what we decided to do. I called the prosecuting attorney and I was just like, hey, is this going to be a misdemeanor? What is this? Is this going to be a felon? What is this going to be? Like, how often are these misdemeanors going to happen? And then the lady that I was on the phone with was like, hold on, let you talk directly to the prosecuting attorney, because I had not committed a crime yet. And then it turns out it was blowing smoke.
Yeah.
It was blowing smoke. And, the prosecuting attorney was just like, we need more people like you to stand up. And gave me his personal cell phone number, because that was whenever things were real scary, right there at the beginning when people just didn't know.
The unknown.
Yeah, the unknown.
Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah, that was a rough time. Well, I ended up running for that health board, and I won. It actually ended up being the largest election in the history of Pettis County.
Really?
Had 10 people to go against, and I came in first on that, and I'm still serving on the Pettis County Health Board. Cool. And I will tell you, boy, a lot of things have changed and things have calmed down, but it was not calm. Whenever I got into it, I got into a swamp. I mean, it was just rough. I had people verbally attacking me and attacking my business. I mean, it was not whatever. It's hard to stand up and do the right thing, and it's hard to put your hat into the ring because
that
you put yourself out there.
Yeah, that prosecutor was right. We do need more people standing up against this stuff.
Yeah. So, you know what? And I will tell you, I'm worried about our country.
Absolutely.
I'm worried about our country, especially on like the federal level. And I feel powerless whenever it comes to the federal level. I mean, that's so big and out of control. I see things getting done to old daddy Donald Trump. I see things, and boy, if something like that was to...
Can you imagine them coming after me and you?
No, I mean, it would destroy us.
I wouldn't even know what to do.
Well, we wouldn't have the finances. We wouldn't have the finances. We wouldn't have the power behind there. I mean, we would become just something in the wind.
Yeah.
So that's federal level, and I sure am happy that we got a billionaire up there that can battle. And take those big hits, because our country is struggling right now.
And it's one hit right after another. They keep coming after him with everything they can. It's disappointing to me to see the system, especially with all the years of law enforcement that I have, to see a system this corrupt.
Right.
I tell everybody, my grandpa had always told me he didn't want to see what I was going to have to deal with, or my kids were going to have to deal with. And this is the crap he was talking about, I think.
Yeah. I'm so ashamed of what's going on right now, because, you know what? My grandfather served in World War II, okay?
Yep, mine too.
Yeah. And I remember my mom, before she ended up putting him in a nursing home, whenever she couldn't take care of him anymore, but that man used to have nightmares at nighttime. And he didn't have any legs, all right? So he, a double amputee, and that man would, my bedroom was right beside his, and he would get to screaming because he would, he was having flashbacks, and like, for somebody to go through so much mentally, and then to be away from his family, and to go through so much as an older person, like that emotional damage that happened. And now it's like, man, my grandfather put in some hard work for this country. A lot of people's grandfathers put in hard work for this country. A lot of people put in hard work. Yeah. So anyways, federal level is pretty rough right now, but the local level, there's
still hope.
There is still hope.
For sure.
Yes. So the local level, you have decided to put your hat in the ring, which, I'm always in a cowboy hat. Today I got a ball cap on. You came in with your cowboy hat.
Sure.
Whenever I was running for that health board, I told them they needed more boots on that board.
Yeah.
Need more boots in some offices. Need more rough hands in the offices. Need more wrinkles on the side of our eyes from being outside in those offices. So you have decided to, and I know if you're as nervous as I was, it's just really awkward to go from blue collar working class, and then being like, hey, I'm going to actually put my hat in the ring and run for something.
Yeah.
So you're running for the Morgan County Western District Commissioner.
I am.
Okay. So, and this year, there are 4 people.
Yep.
4 people.
4 of us running.
And there's no incumbent.
Nope. He decided not to run.
Okay.
And no Democrats are running. So.
Okay. So we got 4 Republicans running with no incumbent. So
it's going to be an interesting race. When you get this many people, of course, a lot of votes get split. Mm-hmm. They go different directions. So it's going to be a close race for sure.
Okay. So let's tell people some things about your back, because they need to vote on August 6th of 2024. This podcast right now, I need you to take action. We're going to let you meet Jason and why you should vote for him, and let you just tell about him, because we need people that are honest. We need people that are strong, and being strong is, that's grit, and grit, it takes years to have grit.
You've got to have a little fight in you. Mm-hmm. to do this, to put yourself in a ring, actually, to see a little black eye on your eye and hear that you were in Florida actually fighting. I was like, oh, you weren't on vacation.
Jason's making fun of me because I actually do have a black eye right now. I moved to this state to try to go to the Olympics as a heavyweight fighter, and I fought in 5 countries for United States as a heavyweight. But whenever we bought the family farm, I literally stopped fighting. And I haven't fought in 11 years. And I fought in April, and I came in second. And then I went to nationals, and I did not win. I drew a beast of a woman. Yeah. I drew the person that's won nationals the last 2 years and the current USA team member. And I will tell you, it had me. I'm motivated now because to be in your 40s and to go back into a full contact sport makes me a little bit crazy, but then I just have to, I've got to lose weight. I've got to become the athlete. I got to be an athlete.
But you said it before. I mean, and I told you, you're putting yourself out there, and that's what it takes. And then you said that it humbled you when you got your butt whipped.
I got my bell rang.
Yeah. And that's not a bad thing. Being humbled is a very good thing. I've been humbled many a times in my life. I'm going to put myself out there for this election. And if I lose, it's going to humble me. I'm going to work hard not to lose, but we'll see what happens on August 6th for sure.
Okay, so tell them what you've done in the past.
Yeah, I'm a graduate of Morgan County R1 school right there in Stover.
What year?
1995.
Okay, I graduated high school in 97.
When you're old is when you have to put your date of birth on your phone somewhere and you just scroll it. It just keeps scrolling down, down. You got to go through the 90s, the 80s, and then you get to the 70s.
It's rough for me that people, they don't even have to know what year you were born in. They just got to know if it starts with a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, we're at that point.
Oh, that's rough. We've been there for 3 years,
No, I grew up in Morgan County. I love Morgan County. I grew up in Florence mostly. I went to school in Stover, but I always tell everybody, not just the Western District, Morgan County kind of raised me because right out of high school, I became a 911 dispatcher for Morgan County. Mm-hmm. And from there, I became a deputy sheriff, had a pretty good career with the sheriff's department for years, all the way to undercover narcotics detective. Went to the Missouri State Water Patrol, was there till 2011, and then the Highway Patrol merged the Water Patrol together, and I became a state trooper. But after all those years of law enforcement, I decided to get out in 2015. I always told everybody, I'm like, I was in my early 40s then. I was like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I was a cop for 25 years, and I've had the opportunity to, like I said, help Chuck open the restaurant, which was awesome. I've been doing property management, a little real estate stuff from time to time. But, I grew up in Morgan County. I love Morgan County. And it's not that we've got 3 other guys that are running against me. They're running for the same position.
Right.
I know that they have a desire for Morgan County just like I do. I just don't trust anybody else to work as hard as I will for the people of Morgan County.
Well, and you know what? That's really hard for me. Here we are. This is our 10th year being open. And I know the quality of work that I produce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not talking bad about anybody. I just know I I always bet on myself.
Yeah.
I always bet on myself. I know my background, and you're the same thing. You know your background, you know your connections, you know your people, and you know where your heart's at and everything. So you're just saying that you bet on yourself.
I just don't trust anyone else to work as hard as I will for the people of Morgan County. And when I say the people of Morgan County, I'm running for the Western District, but we represent everybody in the county.
Right.
Every taxpayer in that county we represent, and every employee in that county we represent. We're going to make decisions in that courthouse that are going to affect everybody in the county. So, I'm running for Western District, but I'm running to represent absolutely everybody.
Well, and it sounds like with what your jobs have been in that county that you've taken some hard hits. You've taken some hard hits to keep that county safe and keep that county productive, and there's a lot of rough stuff that goes on in the background that people have no clue about. And it's kind of nice that there's people like you to absorb that. Yeah,
I was very fortunate to work for 3 different agencies. I don't know if that's unheard of, and never leave Morgan County. I stayed right there as a deputy sheriff, a water patrolman in the Gravois Arm, and a Missouri State Trooper in Morgan and Montauk County.
That's crazy. Okay, so what are some things that you want to focus on if you're in office?
I think one of the biggest questions you get is what qualifies you to be a commissioner, and this may not be the best answer, but I don't know that anything qualifies me to be the commissioner because I've never been a commissioner before. I've dealt with people in the past. I know how to talk to people and how to deal with people. I'm not the guy that can jump in a road grader, which is the number one topic right now is the roads. I don't know how to operate a road grader.
Yeah, but you need to be able to hire someone that can do. Yeah,
exactly.
And you need to be able to listen to people and schedule. Yeah.
The commissioner to me shouldn't be sitting in that road grader grading the roads any more than he should be in a patrol car patrolling the roads for Morgan County.
Right.
They need to make sure that the people we're hired to do that are doing exactly that. They're doing their job.
Oh, yeah. You've got to be able to, one person can only be in charge of so many people, and then you've got to delegate.
Yeah.
That's what that is. And then the people that you delegate, you've got to make sure that they have the same clear mission that you have.
Yeah. There's a supervisor for the Western District, and he's that guy that should be out there and helping and making sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. But what I'm learning after throwing my hat in the ring is there's not much training goes on for some of these guys. I can speak for the law enforcement side of things for sure. I think there's some improvement that could be made there, countywide, statewide, nationwide as far as law enforcement goes. But just grading the roads and stuff like that, there needs to be a little more training. There's some old guys that are retired that hopefully we can convince to come back and get some advice from.
Right.
They're good guys. The guys that are there now on the road district are good guys.
Right.
You know all of them growing up around that area. You know everybody that works there. So I don't think it's a question of do we have the right men in there, but we've got to get them the assets and give them the training for sure.
Well, if you've got some people, natural maturation, if it's time to pass the torch, if it's time, it's just like, around the Olympics, they have that torch that goes from person to person across the United States or across wherever they're traveling with that Olympic torch. It's just time to pass the torch to the next person. And you know what? I don't think that you have to be a politician to get elected to something. I think we need
not anymore.
We need clean slates, clean minds. We need people that don't need to stay there for that to be their source of income.
Yeah.
They need to do their job and say thank you. And career politicians is not where it's at.
No.
We know we just need people to do their time, care about their country, care about their county, care about their people, and then make solid decisions.
Like I said before, those decisions you're making is going to affect a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, with me being in a different county, and the health department works with the commissioners, and it's so nice that I can talk to them, and I can explain to them, like, hey, here's what's going on. And then they don't know all of the state statutes. They know how to look them up very well. And they ask other people, like, okay, here, I've read this. This is what I think this meant. Do you have anything to add to it? Man, they are open books, and it's very nice.
That's what it takes, be an open book. Mm-hmm. I may not have all the answers, right, but I will get them for you.
I don't know anybody. I've worked now we have 3 commissioners right now, and then I've worked with other commissioners in the past with our business and stuff, and nobody has any of the answers. They're all looking things up, taking notes, getting back to you. But the fact that they don't drop the ball, the fact that they care, nobody expects anybody to have all the answers.
And that's this job, they call it a part-time. That's what a lot of people have said to me. It's a part-time job. It's not a part-time job. For my whole career, I've been on call 24/7 for the SWAT teams. So I'm used to being on call 24/7 and being available to people. And it's important, I think, for that role to be able to answer all the questions, maybe not at that moment, but get all the answers to that person.
Well, so here we go. Little side bubble thought, okay? A lot of people talk about how school teachers, like, oh, you only work this time and this time. And I'm like, no, the only reason education works is because of the hours I put in that are unpaid.
Exactly.
So it's the same concept. Literally the whole education system works on the back of the free hours given by educators. You need, all of my grading, that doesn't get done in my plan period. Making copies gets done during plan period, but actual thought out lesson plans and trying to make sure that you've aligned it with all these state standards and make sure things are done correctly and make sure that's engaging.
Yeah. And I think that's what Chuck and I realized about the restaurant business. It's not just open the doors and serve people. and Chuck's doing it all on his own now, but man, there's a lot. He gets 2 days off, but they're not 2 days off.
Right.
He's up there. The truck's coming in, bringing the food items. He's up there getting the smoker going. So,
training employees.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes with every job, I think.
Right.
So.
Well, I'm really good friends with the people that, the 2 sisters that own Charlie's Buffet. Yeah. And everybody's they were like, you're only open 2 days a week. It was like a 6 or 7 day job to be able to do that large of quantity of people and that large of a menu. It was taking over their life, I miss Charlie's Buffet.
There's a lot of people that miss it. And it's crazy to hear of course, like patio, people from Kansas City stopping in and they'll talk about Charlie's Buffet.
I don't know if you know this right here, but I put them into a national magazine because I traded one of my mules that I took through mounted police training. Yeah. I traded my mule for a lot of their kitchen equipment, and now we're doing homesteading classes here. Awesome. And we're using Charlie's Buffet's kitchen equipment.
Cool.
Yeah, we have it. That's why we stopped doing weddings because we want to do like foraging and how to do canning. It's the same thing. It's kind of, you're running for the Morgan County Western District Commissioner, and I'm over here like, I want to make people more self-sustainable.
Yeah, I think that's very important.
Oh, yeah. The price of these groceries
is ridiculous. Absolutely.
It's horrible. And so I just want to help people be able to help themselves. And to the point that we killed the wedding barn. Our wedding barn was growing and growing, and I was just like, I want to do something different. And we have these women's events called Chicks in the Sticks. And I've had people come in from other countries. I had people come in from Canada to come to one, and people come in to from Germany. And I use several people for different things, but I've brought my Chicks in the Sticks to Patio 52.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I was fortunate. Grandpa, we killed squirrels when I was a kid and killed deer and turkey, but he taught me how to grow tomatoes, how to have a garden, how to can meat. But there's probably a lot of things that we've lost through the years because we didn't pay attention to our grandmas and grandpas that could do all that stuff.
Well, and you know what? Okay, so here we go. I got 3 college degrees, right? And you would think that I'm pretty smart. Whenever my mom was doing all that stuff, all that canning and everything, I viewed it as like punishment. Like, dang, I got to help her.
I got to snap these green beans, whole pan.
I got to shuck this corn. Like, this is going to take forever. I got to cap these strawberries. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know how to do all that stuff. But I have access to people that do know how to do everything. I went and made peach preserves the other day with the Mennonites, and I was like, this is easy. Yeah. And they're like, Brandy, it's all easy. And I'm like, I feel overwhelmed, so I'm on a mission to, I know there's other people just like me,
wanting to learn.
Wanting to learn, and, that's what we're going to do. I want to become an education center, and I'm not the one teaching the classes. I've got people coming in to teach the classes.
But you got a beautiful facility to do it.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure. I'm good at management.
Yeah.
See? So just like you don't have to know how to do all the things, but you just got to be able to realize what you know, what you don't know, and then be able to draw upon your resources. Yeah. That's the same thing, different day.
Yeah, there's a lot of things there's so much opportunity in Morgan County, especially the Western District. But one thing I think we've got to focus on is we got to get some housing. We can talk about businesses, but if we don't start getting some housing in Morgan County in general, but the Western District for sure, we can't talk about bringing businesses in. And I don't know what I'll be able to accomplish as a commissioner. I'm looking forward to, August.
The adventure?
Yeah, August, and after that, the adventure begins, whether I win or lose. Just the 3 gentlemen that are running with me for the same position. We've kind of talked, and we all want the same thing. So if one gets in over me, I think we're all the rest of us are going to all hold that person accountable for sure, because we've all said the same thing.
Yep. All right. Well, so it's Jason Worthley. And do you know where you'll be at on the ballot? Is it by who registered first? Is it by last name? How is it?
No, so me and another gentleman were there day one, and so you pull a card out and it has a number on it, and I won. Fortunately, I'll be the first one on the ballot.
Okay.
There will be, no matter where you are in Morgan County, there will be a Worthley on the ballot. My brother is running for coroner. Oh, so okay. I tell everybody, if you see a Worthley on the ballot, just vote for that. Vote for Worthley.
Now, they might be used to seeing Worthley, right? Because what does your wife do for Morgan County?
Yeah, she's the Morgan County clerk. She ran several years ago and won. And I think I talked to you about this last time on our podcast. But she came in and said, she was asked to run for this Morgan County clerk's position, and I was like, don't do it. Don't get involved in politics. But 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Good people need to start running for public office, because these idiots are running and they're winning. And you can turn on the news and see who those idiots are. Republican, Democrat, I don't care. There's idiots running for public office, and they're winning, and they're not doing a damn thing for our communities, our country.
Yeah, they're doing this for their own stepping stones. They're not doing it for the love of the people and to take care. You have to take care of your home before you can take care of anything bigger, And so our county elected officials have such an important role, is because, we can keep the crazy at bay.
And those people like you stepping in that ring and being humbled, that's what needed to happen to a lot of politicians. Well, the fighting deal, a buddy of mine, Sam Shoemaker, he's a bare knuckle fighter. We've talked about him in the past, but he's got a fight coming up on August 3rd, actually in Sturgis. And he goes out there and he gets whipped, but he gives a whipping.
Yeah.
And he told me one time, he's like, Jason, I've been getting beat for free for years. So he's like, now I'm getting paid to get beat, but I encourage him to continue to do it. I mean, he's not a young man anymore. None of us are, but he still goes out there and he gets humbled from time to time. And
I turn 45 next month. 45. Oh, man.
I'll be 48 here in a few days.
Okay. So our birthdays are real close.
I'm knocking on 50's door. I never thought that. That's crazy.
Man, my husband turned 50 last year, and it hit him with a brick wall. I mean, we had to get glasses, a hearing aid, had to get his gallbladder taken out, and a couple of pieces of cancer cut off of his face. And I was like, dang, 50 hit you. And he's like, I know it hit me. And now every time he forgets something, he's like, oh, no, I'm getting older. And 50. I'm like, shut up. You're not old, hun, okay? Yeah. But now I'm like, he's probably been forgetting stuff for 20 years, but now he's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Getting older.
Yep.
But... You know,
see it coming.
I love being in my 40s because I feel like I've still got my health. I feel like I'm educated. I feel like I've got enough motivation I can still change and do different things, you know?
Yeah.
So I like being in my 40s. You know, you don't hear a lot of women being like, yeah, 40s.
40.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
No, we're always so sad and beat up. We're like, oh, God, I'm not who I was. Well, heck no, you aren't. I mean, could you imagine reading a book and just reading the same chapter over and over? No, you want to know how the book continues on. We're just in a later chapter. Everybody
out there in their 20s, listen to the 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds because they're speaking from experience. I always say, you know, when your mom and dad and grandpa and them are telling you enjoy it while it lasts, that's the absolute truth. So.
Oh, my gosh. One of the little fighters on the fight team that I'm on, one of the juniors, her grandparents wanted her to come over and eat dinner with them, you know, while we were sitting on the beach in Florida yesterday. Anyways, and she was like, no, I want to talk to my boyfriend. And I was like, girl, you're going to regret him. Yeah. Don't even talk to that boy right now. I was like, you 15. Yeah. Quit talking to him.
Yeah. I didn't listen when I was 15, and no. I don't think anybody else is going to listen. But it sure would be nice if they did. They'd probably be farther ahead than we are in life if they would just listen to those older people.
Well, and you know what? Going back to that awful C word, you know, old COVID, boy, that changed kids. It changed people. It changed everything. It opened eyes. It closed friendships. It closed, I mean, like.
Social media took over.
Oh, it's just, I am so happy that people like you are running for things because we're literally, okay, so if anybody's ever cleaned up something and you got everything out because you're going to do a deep clean and it's just like big chaotic mess, well, that's what our whole country looks like right now is this big chaotic mess. And it's just, you know, the way that you get through those things is just one step at a time. And that's what's got to happen right now.
And it starts at the local level. Mm-hmm. I mean, it really does. You sit back and wonder what you can accomplish. All you got to do is get out there and fight for the people and go head-to-head with these politicians, whether they're in Jeff City or Washington, go head-to-head with them.
Well, and you know what? Whenever people make mistakes, just say, "Ooh, okay, I made a mistake. Here's what I'll do next time." And people are, I mean, as long as you're honest and you have good intentions, it's okay to make mistakes.
Make mistakes.
Oh, yeah. You're just learning forward. You're failing forward.
Yep. I always said in court, I told judges and attorneys, I'd rather look like an idiot than a liar. Yeah. You know, I make a mistake, that's my bad, but I ain't going to sit there and lie about it.
Right. All right, guys. August 6th, it's super important for you to get out there and vote. And maybe you could vote and then go get a burger from Patio 52.
Stop by Patio 52. Actually, I'll be around. We're going to try to get to Patio 52. I'll have some T-shirts and stuff, and we'll have a little get-together before the election, probably a couple days before then. But, yeah, get out and vote, and definitely stop by Patio 52 and tell Chuck I sent you.
Okay. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holten.